Saiga is a hoofed mammal from the subfamily of true antelopes. Although due to its peculiar anatomy, it is sometimes referred to the special subfamily Saigain together with the Tibetan antelope. In 2002, the International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN), these species were classified as CR, that is, in critical condition. Initially, they settled a large territory in the steppes and semi-deserts of Eurasia from the foot of the Carpathian Mountains and the Caucasus to Jungaria and Mongolia. Now, Saigas live only in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, with some visits to Turkmenistan and Russia, and especially in Kalmykia, Astrakhan region, Altai Republic, and Western Mongolia. In different seasons of the year, Saigas gather in large thousands of herds in steppes and semi-deserts and feed on a variety of plant species, quinoa, wormwood, reedgrass, sunworm, etc., including poisonous for other animal species. Saigas are the same color with tip yellowish red. Saigas migrate long distances and can cross the river but try to avoid steep and rocky slopes. Meeting saigas in the steppe is not easy. These are very fast animals that can accelerate to 80 kilometers per hour, comparable to the train speed. Just try to catch up. There is only one period when it is possible to examine them as close as possible, to examine the condition of the young, because they will not run away. This is lambing. Steppe wolves were a natural threat to saigas. So in the early 1990s, the saiga population in Kazakhstan was about 1 million heads, but after 10 years, the number of animals decreased to almost 20,000. In 1993, the legal export of horns was the maximum bar, 60 tons. In 2005, a moratorium on the shooting of saigas was introduced, which will be valid until 2021. In 2014, the number of saigas reached 256,000 individuals.
The massive death of Saigas in Kazakhstan in 2015 led to the catastrophic decrease in number of Saigas in the country. By the beginning of June 2015, about 134,000 Saigas were died in the three regions of the country, Kostanay, Aktyubinsk, and Akhmola regions, while in 2014 the total number of Saigas in Kazakhstan was estimated at 256,000. In the first days, when about 100 dead Saigas were discovered, according to preliminary data, the cause of death was caused by severe depletion due to this arid year 2014. There were several versions of the death of animals, from poaching on an industrial scale to a strange infectious disease. The popular version was associated with the toxic fuel gyptyl used when launching Russian missile from Baikonur Cosmodrome. This was facilitated by the fact that two of the three regions in whose territory the death case occurred, Aktobe and Kostanay regions, are located next to the Kazlarda region, where the Cosmodrome is located. The version was not confirmed either by Kazakh or foreign experts who investigate the cause of death of animals. The Aerospace Committee of the Ministry of Investments and Development has denied rumors that the saiga can be associated with rocket and space activities. Poaching as a cause was also rejected almost immediately. There were no wounds and injuries on the carcasses that spoke of violent death. Another version, the severe depletion in which the saigas were located after the arid year of 2014, was also untenable. As a result, scientists have called the cause of the case pasteurellosis. This version is currently the main one.
Poachers usually leave the carcass of a dead animal, cutting off only the horns. To understand this skill, you need to know that before the 2015 mass deaths, poaching was considered the main cause of death of these animals. Since the main purpose of the prey is horns, the males are killed more. Illegal hunters are attracted by money that can be obtained for freshly cut horns on the black market. The skull of an animal with sewn horns is too much evidence. Why is there a demand for Saiga horns? According to the staff of Hotsu Prom, the demand comes from China. Horns are used in Chinese medicine. Currently, the Animal Welfare Act is outdated. There are very few opportunities in Kazakhstan to prevent poaching. Now, Kazakhstan poachers are very well equipped and armed, and the inspectors are not able to fully deal with poachers. A separate law on the protection of Saigas is proposed and developed by Kazakhstani senators. They motivate their proposal by the fact that today the shelling of Saigas has become widespread, and all this is due to the fact that poachers do not bear the proper punishment. In the district police in the Karaganda region were found 30 carcasses and pairs of Saiga horns. Environmentalists once again sound the alarm because of the close connection between poachers and law enforcement officers. During a round table on poaching in Astana, public figures, representatives of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Prosecutor's Office, and the Ministry of Agriculture reported that 19 sites for the purchase of Saiga horns were closed in order to combat poachers. Before the action of the public destruction of cut horns of Saigas, which was seized from poachers, more than 200 horns mysteriously disappeared. Zoo defenders trained 16 search dogs, which today are trained to search for Saiga horns and tortoise shells. These dogs are already being introduced in the customs and border guards. Hunting Saiga is prohibited in Kazakhstan. The number of these amazing animals in 20 years has decreased from 1 million to 200,000 heads.
Saiga, currently under constant threat of mass epizootics of pasteurellosis due to the weakening of immunity against this infection. The cause is the depletion of the genetic diversity of the species caused by the bottleneck effect. Based on the research, we consider it necessary to carry out the following urgent measures. To carry out spraying of aqueous solution with the presence of Saiga serotype of antipasteurellosis vaccine, developed at the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine of the Kazakh National Agrarian University, from helicopters at low altitude of grassy vegetation. Unprecedented air campaign should be held in April in the territories of Saiga. After animals eat the grass treated with the vaccine, their body develops a strong immunity against pasteurellosis for several months. This will enable the Saiga to survive the unfavorable period of the year. To create comfortable conditions for breeding stock for childbirth in the areas of mass lambing, especially strengthening the protection of the so-called rest zones. In such zones, any economic activity, grazing, driving, etc. should be prohibited for 10 to 15 days before lambing and 15 to 20 days after. An urgent task is to fight wolves and stray dogs. The places of mass breeding of Saiga antelope in the steppe and dry steppe zones are of significant importance, where it is necessary to provide for the creation of migration corridors between cross-border protected areas, providing migration corridors to Russia. To confirm or disprove the genetic syndrome, conduct research in the field of population genetics of the Saiga antelope. On the basis of the Kazakhstan-Japan Innovation Center at the Kazakh National Agrarian University, to implement a project on this topic, temperatures and humidity. It is necessary to ensure the coordination of scientific support, which is within the power of the university, where there are specialists, possible space monitoring ring. All these components are inherent in the Eurasian National University, named after Gumilev, recognized flagship of national science and education. He should be the coordinator of the Saiga rescue program. Only the adoption of these measures can make it possible to sustainably preserve the Saiga as a species in the fauna of mammals of Kazakhstan.